Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Growsmart 2021. Oh my word, we have missed you so much. A whole year has passed and we didn't get to do this. So welcome back to those of you who have been with Growsmart before. What an absolute pleasure to have you. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. In particular, I'd like to do an official welcome to Karen Dudley, our Director of GET Curriculum. Thank you so much for joining us. The head office officials, district officials, and you, our mentors and principals who are joining us today. An absolute pleasure to have you. And on behalf of the Growsmart team, it is an absolute pleasure to be back. Not only are we back, but we are back in the form of digital. Very exciting for us. It's new for you, it's new for us, so bear with us. We're going to have fun this year, I hope. Absolutely everything has gone digital and we are very excited to share that with you. So today, for those of you who are joining us, today is the actual workshop for literacy and story writing. So let us just recap. Literacy and story writing is going to be compulsory for absolutely everyone to participate in. Today you would have received several forms of communication from the team. So we have emailed you, we have SMS'd you, we have WhatsApped you to ensure that you are joining us today, but not only that, that you have registered. So we do have a Q&A for you later. Where we've got some frequently asked questions. We will try and just go through them and answer them. In the meantime, if you go to the top of your screen and you have a look, so this is a webinar. It is not a normal Teams meeting, so you can't have that chat group, but we have opened up our Q&A session where the team can see your questions and we will try and answer them as best possible. So please look at the top of the screen and you will have a Q&A. Please post your question there to the team directly and we will try to answer it for you. But right now we are actually going to go straight into our workshop. Let's get straight into it. I have not introduced myself. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jewel Harris. I am the founder of Growsmart. And to give you a bit of background, Growsmart started in 2010 just as a literacy competition. And at the time, we partnered with the WCD. We have since grown across 3 different provinces. We are in the Western Cape, in the Eastern Cape and Limpopo. Today, this launch and workshop, we cover both the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape. Absolute pleasure to have you with us. You would all remember that last year we gave you a hard copy of our launch booklet. It looks like this. So this is going to be sent to you digitally. So you don't have to worry that you don't have a hard copy with you. It is going to be sent to you digitally. You can download it for your pleasure and actually go through all of the information. A lot of what I'm going through today is in that. That is your manual. That is the thing that you're going to go to make sure you know where to be, how to get to us, and how it all works. So we are so looking forward to making sure that you have all the information that you need at your fingertips. Right, so without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Okay. Whoops, let me go back there. There we go. Right, so I have covered that we started back in 2010. For those of you who are new to us, our program covers grades 4, 5 and 6 learners. So we cover the complete intermediate phase. Our competition now actually is no longer just a literacy competition, but not only did we grow in provinces, but we have grown our program over the years. So we now cover literacy, story writing and poetry. We've got mathematics, science, debating, and this year we are also launching entrepreneurship. This one in particular is, as I said previously, literacy and story writing. Please know that all of the other subjects that are mentioned are not compulsory across all of the provinces. We are phasing in so that across the different provinces so that eventually you have the full package of Growsmart. But as I said, this one's compulsory, so let's go through what it is that the literacy and story writing is about today. How will this work? And how does it go from here? So who are the most important people who we have in the room today? Today we have you, the principal, and our mentors. So you are so important to us because without you, we actually cannot run this program. You are the ones who support your mentors. You are the ones who actually make sure this happens in your school. You are there to make sure that your learners are prepared and actually, more importantly, are having fun. So if you haven't been with us before, trust me, Growsmart is all about having fun. So it's learning in a fun way. Right, so in terms of your mentor and your principal, where do we see you? We want you to make sure that this is a whole school environment. The entire school is participating. We have workshops like this to make sure that as the principal and the mentor, you don't miss out on anything. You know exactly how this works. All of these will be pre-recorded, so if you miss anything, you can go back. We will send you an edited version so that you know exactly what it is that you will do. So remember, you are going to make sure that your school is registered, that your mentor is registered, and once you have your interclass intergrade competitions, where we go, you will make sure that everything flows from there. So let's talk a little bit about the e-newspaper, because without this, you can't do anything. So remember last year when we weren't in our normal Growsmart capacity? Well, we did everything digitally and we had little video clips that we put together for you with all of our Growsmart content. So this year we have an e-newspaper. Our normal format is now turned into an electronic, a digital form. The content is still curriculum based. There is no additional work for you. So teachers, don't stress. You are going to be doing exactly the same thing. It covers the curriculum that you are going to cover in your classroom anyway. Growsmart is there to aid you. It is there as a teacher's aid. It is used as part of your daily lessons. The content will all be pre-recorded and you can work through it in your classrooms with your students. How does it work in terms of additions? That is our normal format. We start off every year with a practice round edition. That practice round edition, remember, that's where you do your interclass intergrade competition. The actual competition is based on editions 1, 2, and 3. And obviously, as you progress in the competition, the questions get harder and you do need to remember all the content. I just want to say this before we continue. If your school does not make it to the next round, please continue using our content. It is there for you no matter what. We make it available to everybody so that you can, together with your class, enjoy the videos that we are posting and the content that you can use as part of your teaching. Again, we have said it covers grades 4, 5, and 6, and it really is a whole school experience. So when we say we've gone digital, like what does that mean? For those of you who joined us previously, you will know that we are using the school in the box concept. So you would have logged on already and you would have gone through a training process of this. We will show you a video a little bit later on in the slides of exactly how that will work. So once you have your content, what will you do with that? Right. Practice round edition, how does that work? We are going to do an intergrade, interclass competition. So you're going to get all your grades together for literacy and you are going to have a spelling bee, right? We're going to do the spelling bee based on the information in our newspapers. And not only do you need to use just the latest edition of Growsmart for practice round, all of our newspapers have been uploaded on our website. You have got years and years of material that you can actually practice in each of your classrooms with so that you can ensure, 1, you're involving the entire school, and then 2, that you are actually making sure that you are selecting the best learners. Remember, the way to do this is not to decide who you think the best learners are, but for the kids actually to all participate, and so that you can see who the ones that shine and who the ones that come through and who your top 5 learners will be. So the schools are going to have intergrade, interclass competitions. From there, you will have your top 5 learners who will participate in your literacy competition. Remember, they come from grades 4, 5, and 6. You will need 1 learner to actually guide them, and whoever, I beg your pardon, 1 mentor. So whoever that mentor is, mentor, you play a really important role. You are with this team from now to the final competition date. Some teams have asked, can they have more than 1 mentor? Absolutely. You are there to guide and mentor that team and help them through to the final. The competition format. So you will see that we have practice rounds. It says from the 20th of April to the 6th of May. So why are we doing that? Remember, this is a new concept to all of you. So we need to make sure that you're on board, that you know how it works, that you know how to access our material, that you're comfortable with the system. If through this time you're experiencing any problems, please make sure that you contact your local coordinator. They are there to assist you and guide you through the process. Right, so you'll see the level 1 competitions, 25th of May, level 2, 29th of July, semi-final, 25th of August, and our finals are from September onwards. Actually, I beg your pardon, that is correct. So from 8th of September onwards. So obviously it will vary depending on where you are, because we can't all have them on the same date. But please make sure that you note all of this. And again, the information is in your launch booklet. So please don't stress that you have to make notes about all of these dates right now. We will be providing that information to you. Okay, so we have spoken quite a lot about how the literacy works with the Interclass Integrades competition. Remember, this is a compulsory part of the competition. You have to ensure that there is a team that is participating. As I've said before, there are 3 editions of the newspaper. So the level 1 edition newspaper is for level 1. Similarly, level 2 is with editions 1 and 2. And then from the semi-final onwards, you will be tested on all 3 editions. What is the key? Preparation, 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 and hopefully as a Growsmart team, we know how to spell preparation. So apologize for that, but it's just making sure that you're all paying attention there. So please make sure that your teams are very well prepared. Our online format, there are content plans, lessons have been developed for you. So exactly all of those newspaper articles that we used to write, that has been broken down into lessons. So remember last year we had videos and we covered that content. Well, we are doing the same again this year. There will be tutorials, there are workshops, there are quizzes, and everybody will go through it. So you may perhaps have a question and say, okay, Jill, but you've given me the school in the box concept, and you've only given me 5 of these devices. Well, it doesn't mean it's only for 5 learners. Please, this is for your entire grades 4, 5, and 6 to go through. Please don't limit it to 5 learners. This is a whole school experience. All of your grades 4, 5, and 6s have the opportunity to access this. I just want to stress that that is very, very important. So questions and quizzes on the online format will be timed so that we can see, are you learning it? Are you managing to get through it in a certain time? What is the aim of this competition? We spell the word, define it, use it in the sentence. And then, of course, we also ask you nouns, verbs, and idioms. So very important that you are familiar with that as well. All of the questions, where do they come from? The newspaper. So remember, you have got to go through that newspaper. All the questions that we ask come directly from the newspaper. Competitions, this year they will be held during the week. No more giving up your Saturday. I'm sure you'll all be pleased that you can have a bit of a lie-in on that Saturday morning. So we've taken it back to afternoon school week, and we look forward to seeing how that format runs. So this is an example of what that will look like. There are your adjectives. You are used to what that newspaper looks like. Adjective section, and then you also have the tutorial where you can actually see there is a video tutorial of how that will work. So right, let's go to our next clip. This one shows you what it will look like. That is your quiz, their answers, it's multiple choice, and the learner needs to achieve at least 70%. That is 7 out of 10 questions. If the learner does not achieve the 70%, they will not be able to move forward, and it will show that. So you have to go back, and what is the whole idea? Practice, practice, and practice until they get that right. Okay, so please know that we can monitor it from our side, so we can see how far the learners are, and also they won't be able to go to the next step if they have not been able to answer these questions. This is just a short clip to show you how it is that you can navigate our e-content. Please enjoy.
Hi Growsmarters, it's Kanya. Now that you've been set up with your profiles, you're ready to start your Growsmart lessons. Each learner must log on with their own username and passwords that were created to log on each time. Now that you're logged in, go to your main menu at the top left-hand corner of the screen and select Learn and then Channels. Open the Growsmart channel and you will find all of the amazing Growsmart content that you can do. Alright Growsmarters, I can tell that you are super excited to get started with your Growsmart lessons. Let me show you how. When you are on the Growsmart channel, you will see a selection of subjects. Click on the subject of your choice. Because this is a demonstration, I am going to click Demo. Once you open your subject, you will see different topics. Our topic for today is adjectives. Every single lesson will contain an article, a tutorial, and a quiz. First, click on the article. This is where you will learn all of the information that you need to complete your lesson. Step 2 is to click the tutorial. The tutorial is a video where a teacher will explain the article to you. Finally, click the quiz to test your knowledge. Good luck, Growsmarters. Have fun.
So there you have it. That was a quick tutorial on how it all works. I hope you enjoyed that with us. So that video will be available on our platform and you will be able to go through it again. So please don't stress if you didn't manage to get all of that right now. All of the content is available to you. After this, it will all be uploaded and you will have full access to it if you haven't already tried. Okay, so what does a competition day look like? It's our usual Growsmart format. We are going to look for the child to be able to do the correct spelling of the word, tell us what the definition is, and to be able to use the word in a sentence. So remember, every single child needs to be able to do this. Also, we're covering idioms and verbs. The login is 15 minutes prior to competition. Why? So that you can make sure that you are logged in, everything's working, and your kids are calm and comfortable and they know exactly how it's going to work. Remember, this would be familiar to them because they would be working on this all the time through this platform. So they will get used to it, but there's always a little bit of nerves and on competition day. So we know how that works. So make sure that everybody gets there on time and that you are logged in prior. Also, the team is available to you at all times. So if you're not sure of what to do, please make sure you've got the telephone numbers handy of your coordinators. Right, so it's a 30-minute timed competition and it is a multiple choice competition. Prizes. No competition without a prize. It's our usual prizes. 25, 50, 350,000 first prize, eLabs, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 for the learners. And then, of course, for you, the mentors, there's a reason that you are doing this as well. We know that you love teaching and that you are passionate about doing this. And we know that you love Growsmart, but there's a little bit of an incentive for you too. So know that this is up for grabs. Big prize for the mentor who gets first prize, compliments of Growsmart. So let's get cracking in terms of what the story writing is. So what I've covered previously is the literacy, the actual spelling bee. Remember, you need to give us 5 learners. You're going to do an interclass integrate competition for that. And now this is story writing and poetry, which is slightly different, but is also compulsory. Okay, let's start going through that. So, story writing and poetry, you need to choose one topic provided. There will be a story writing pack supplied to you. It is an individual competition. So, how do I get this? I don't have it yet. Where do I go? Jewel, please let me know. To be collected at your district office from today. The Eastern Cape, you already have yours, so you have hopefully gone through all of that. Again, all of this information that I'm going through today is available in your launch pack that will be supplied to you. So don't stress that you have to make notes on all of what we are going through today, but this is merely an idea for you to understand the concept of what it is that we are expecting. Again, story writing and poetry, we are covering grades 4, 5, and 6. So we have a mentor for the spelling bee, and we have a different mentor for the story writing. In some cases, some of the mentors choose to do both teams, but it's not the same children. So this is a different 3 learners. Also, perhaps something to stress is if your learner has participated in Growsmart before, in any of the Growsmart competitions, they may not enter again. All right, so let's say I did literacy last year and now I want to do story writing. I can't enter again. I need to give somebody else the opportunity to enter. So please let's remember that and let's get as many of our learners involved. Again, this is something that you can do as a whole class environment. The actual working of our story writing, you will see that we've got booklets that are printed, our actual story writing booklets, and that concept we're going to go through right now, and you can go through that with your entire class. It's not just for these 3 learners. Please use the material. It's such fun and it is just so beautiful and simple that it's easy to use. Okay, so I've now got my topic. I've chosen it. What do? I need to submit 2 books back, 1 workbook, 1 final book. What must the final book look like? Well, I want it beautiful. I want it illustrated. I want it to look like a book that is going to be published. Please remember that. It's got to look like a book that is published. Why? because we are going to publish it. So we want to see all that creativity come through. So you have the opportunity to either do a story or you can do an anthology of 10 poems. It's not both, it's either or. So you have the choice, either a story or an anthology of 10 poems. But what is compulsory is that every single child needs to complete the book review. Very exciting. Can't wait to see what those book reviews look like when they come in. And so what is this there for? To encourage reading. We want our learners to read and read and read and read so that they can grow smarter. Okay, so that is how this competition is going to work. We have got markers, judges, and in your launch pack, you will have an evaluation matrix so that you can also go through it and that you know exactly what the judges are looking for and what they are basing their scoring on. All right, our top 20 books will be published. That is in each province. There will be a book for the Eastern Cape and there will be a book for the Western Cape. So you each have the opportunity to have 20 published authors. We are looking forward to seeing what comes through. Again, for our story writing, these are the fantastic prizes going through. You will see, I love how the team does this. There's no cash, no cash, no cash. They're very, very strict. But what we do is we make sure that all of this goes towards your education. So for our learners, any prizes that they do win goes towards their education. For the learners, the mentors, on the other hand, you can shop till you drop. We really don't mind what you purchase. You will be receiving a gift voucher from one of our shopping centres if you are a winner, first, second or third placed winner. Okay, so let us go to what does this creative writing workbook look like? Well, this is the front of it. This is what it looks like. This needs to be returned to us. You'll see your learner's name goes in the front, school name and the grade. Again, a reminder, you will be able to collect it from your district office if you are in the Western Cape. In the Eastern Cape, you should already have received this. If for some reason you don't, please make sure that you contact Mark Jonker and he will be able to talk you through where you can find your copies. So if we open this up, what does it look like? Ready to write. Well, you were looking for your story writing topics and here they are. They are all listed for you. You can choose one of these topics. Very important to remember, no plagiarism. Please, it is unfortunate that this has happened in the past and your story will unfortunately be disqualified. So we are looking for the child's creativity, the child's wonderful story. We also have the number of words that we can do. So there is a word count for each grade. Please make sure that this criteria is also completed. On your story writing pack, you will be asked to complete the number of words in your story. So please ensure that that is completed. We also have some writing tips for you on vocab, your spelling and grammar in the story, and then descriptive versus narrative text, your setting, your structure, and then what is a story. It is all explained to you. And again, this is something that you can use in the classroom. Now, don't you just love this? This is my favorite part of this book, mind maps. We don't only have one, we have several mind maps so that it is available for the learner to basically start planning their story. You know, you'll have draft 1, then you have draft 2, there's a different version, or maybe you want to use the mind map for something else. You are so welcome to make copies of this if you'd like to do several versions of it. It is available to you. So please use it. You will see there's another one, there's mind map 2, and then we work on character development. Now, don't you just love this? This for me is perfect. You will see that we are really trying to encourage that character development. And would we be in a live workshop? I know we did this actually at the beginning of last year where you all helped me and we actually told our story together and we described our character and we did that whole character development together. Unfortunately, we can't do that in person this year, but please do that as a classroom exercise. Have everybody stand up, and we can decide on who our fictional character is, and each of the learners can add a story. What color are their eyes? What color is their hair? Is it long hair? Is it short hair? What do they look like? Are they tall? Are they short? It really is there for you to be able to utilize this tool. So there are several character developments. Play around with it. And this is not something that you're going to do just in one go. Remember, your learner is going to think about it. They're going to write some ideas down, and then they're going to come and visit it again. And so this, for me, is actually quite enjoy the story writing competition, because it's over a long period of time. And so unlike the spelling bee, where you are in competition mode all the time, this one you're working through it at your own pace. When you want, you can visit your workbook again and go, I don't think he should look like this, or she, I want to change the way this character looks. Oh, I forgot to add, I want to add in that they have this, and this feature. So those are all different things that you can have. So see, we have got enough there that you have 4 characters that you can work through. Doesn't mean that your story only needs to have 4 characters. Your story can have as many characters as what you would like. Those are just examples for you, but please utilize that. It's a good way for the learners to get into the rhythm of how that works. So then if we go and look at the next page, you will see that it says draft cover. So that draft cover is for the actual story writing book, so that they can practice their drawing. What does that look like? They can do one, they can do several, it's completely up to them, but it gives us an idea that they have worked through it. Then on the page on the opposite side, you will see it says write a blurb. So remember, if this was a book that I would be buying in a bookshop, it would have the front cover, and at the back of the book, it would have a blurb, and it would have the summary of the story that would give me an idea of what this book would be about. So we're looking for the child to recreate that as well. You will see that there, once we flip over, we've actually given the child, what we did previously is we actually gave you a separate workbook, and we said use this as your draft, and then there'd be another book for you to actually use as your final story. This time around, we want this actual workbook returned to us so that we can see all the workings that the child has done. And so there is an opportunity for you to write your draft story, and you'll see that there is a lined page and a blank page. So the line page is there obviously for you to write down the story, and your blank page is for the child to start practicing their drawings that will go with that. There are several pages for you to go through, so we really have tried to work it through, give them enough space so that they can work through their story. Please, this does not mean that that is the only space. If your learner feels they need to rewrite it some more and there's not enough space and you need to do a couple of more pages, please do that. You can staple it in the booklet and make sure that that is returned to us with the workbook. All right, so let's get on to the next page. You will see where we are now. We have got revise, edit, proofread, and present. What does this mean? This is where you as the mentor comes in, and you will actually have a look and see, what does this look like? What needs to be edited? Do we need to proofread? What changes do we need to make? So remember, we're trying to really get an idea of what the learner's story is. However, we do need to still guide them. We need to guide them with grammar. We need to help them and say, perhaps this little paragraph needs to be rewritten. Perhaps you'd like to go home, think about it, or let's work through some ideas. This is where all of that happens. And before I continue, I'd just like to remind you, we do have the Q&A on the top of the screen. If you're not quite sure, it is on the top right-hand side. You are so welcome to use it if you have any questions for our team. Great, let's continue. Okay, so that was the proofreading of our story writing. From there, you will actually start and you will do your final workbook. Okay, absolutely everything that you are going to do will be in your final book that is submitted. So remember, you're going to give us the workbook back, this one, and you are going to give us the final one back so that we can see how it is that you managed to get to your final story. Right. Now we have the poetry. So for those of you who are brave to venture into poetry, and I must say, when we launched this last year, we had quite a few teachers really excited that we were starting poetry. And I must say, I'm really looking forward to seeing what type of poetry it is that we will receive. So your poetry can be absolutely anything. You'll see we've given you free verse, limericks, concrete poems. It can be absolutely anything. We even refer to a rap song. These are just elements of poetry that we've also given you on the top, where there is rhyme and rhythm and figurative language and mood and shape. Please use these elements in your different types of poetry. We'd really love to see it. So how do you go about doing this? So what we have suggested is actually that you start up a journal. So you'll see on the opposite page, there's day 1, day 2. There are actually 6 days that we have given you. And so what we're trying to encourage is that the child starts thinking about it, and that every day they start getting into some form of a rhythm where they actually work through their poetry. Journalizing is a great way to do it. So please make sure that you utilize this. You'll see every day there is something different that we're asking the child to focus on. Great exercise again. Please don't only do it with your 3-story writing learners. Do this with the whole class. This is a great way for the whole class to get into writing poetry. It'll be really interesting to see how many poets come out of there. Okay, so similar to the story writing, where we gave you an area where there was a draft section, again, we have given you the same section where you can do draft poems. You can start writing your poems. So we first did the journaling so that we explored something different every day. And so here what we're doing is saying, right, we've given you space and you can actually practice what those poems are going to look like. Again, there are just a couple of sheets and they can scribble on these. Please be creative. We really want to see what that looks like. Okay, so you will see I'm just going to go back to where it started. Remember, you've got your 5 elements of poetry and then you've got your different types of poetry. You then have 6 days where you're going to practice all sorts of things. This doesn't only have to continue for 6 days. If you feel you'd like to extend it with the class over a 2-week period, you are so welcome to do so. And from there, you will also be doing your final book. So you'll do your draft section and then you will use your book, an anthology of 10 poems. So it's either the story that you're going to write or you're going to do the anthology of 10 poems. Okay, now this is my best section. I'm sorry, I get a little bit excited about the reading reviews because I've been dying to do this. So we have reading, and we're going to ask that every single learner participates in this. They have to read at least 3 books. Again, make this a whole class experience. It doesn't just have to be 3 kids reading a book, you know, the ones who are doing the stories or the poems. Let everyone do this. What a great way to encourage everybody to read. Not just that, wouldn't it be a fun experience in the classroom for everyone to share which books they read and what their book review was about? Again, please use our material. It's there for you to use. We really welcome it. We'd love to see where this goes. So we're looking for the child to read a book. They're going to tell us what the title is, who the author is, and what genre the book is. And again, we've just talked through, given the child some ideas of what different genres are, fiction versus non-fiction, and how it is that you decide on which books it is you're going to read. So you will see that we have book review 1, 2, and we have 3 as well over the page. We've got some smiley faces, sad faces, very unhappy faces. We want you to give us an idea of, did you enjoy the book or not? Some very basic questions. There's a space for each one. Please, each of these blocks where we have asked a question needs to be completed. And if I can ask you as the mentor please give us more than one sentence. I wouldn't like to just have one sentence as a reply in each block. Encourage the child to really go through that and make sure that they've understood the question or that they've thought about it. This is not a test. I'm not expecting this to be done in 15 minutes. You have so much time to do this and work through it and really think about the answer that you would like to share with us. We are looking forward to seeing which books are popular, which books are new, and which books are out there that the children are really enjoying. So if you turn over the page, once you have your workbook, you will see that on this I think we're close to the end, you will see that there is a page that says your letter to the author. So you will perhaps choose one of the authors of the books that you have read. It can all be the same author, or they can be completely different authors of your book review. You're going to choose one of the authors, and then you are going to write a letter to the author. So how does this work? One, you could have the email address of the author. You are going to type that email that you have sent, you're going to print it, and you are going to paste it in this workbook so that we can see that your child has written to the author. They're perhaps going to write about what they enjoyed, what they didn't enjoy about the book, and perhaps chat about one or two of the characters. So that letter we'd really like to see come through here. And then if you're lucky enough, hopefully the author has replied. And if they have, we would love to share that with you. So please send it to us so that we can enjoy that reply with you. It doesn't have to be the original. Please, if you actually got a letter, if you're lucky enough to have received a letter, please just make a photocopy and we are happy to receive that photocopy. That's very precious and we would like the child to keep that. If it's an email, please just print the copy of the email and we will go through that for review. Then there's a checklist right at the back, last page, to ensure that you have worked through this completely. Check that if you have done everything for your story writing book and that you have completed everything for your anthology of 10 poems. In addition to that, remember, it is your book review. 3 books need to be completed for every child that participates. Please return this workbook together with your final book as well. Okay, so all 3 learners have to choose between either the story writing or the poems. They don't do both. They're going to do either the story writing or the poems, but each of them have to do the book review. So it's going to look like this: story writing and book review, or poetry and book review. But we will receive 2 of everything. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the booklet that we have worked through. I have been referring to this Growsmart launch book throughout the talk today, our webinar. This is what it will look like. It will be uploaded for you. And there are some questions. So just to go back to this one, you will find it on the online platform. It will be available to you, and absolutely everything that you need to know about both literacy, story writing, or the poetry is available in this launch booklet. Why do you want it? It's got competition dates. It tells you what your role is as the mentor, as the principal. It tells you where you need to be, what you need to work through. Every single important date is available in here. I have had a question that's come through, but I'm first going to run through just, in fact, I've got several here, so I'm just going to run through what the online, some of our frequently asked questions, and then we will take some of the questions that have come through on our Q&A. Remember, the Q&A is available to you to ask your questions, and we will give you as much information as what we can. So, question number 1. There is the Growsmart online registration platform. This you would have received an email for. So it says, where do I register? Well, on the online registration platform, that is where you're going to register. Your principal would have received an email by now with an invitation on this email, and that would allow them to register themselves as a principal and to register your school. So you have to accept the invitation for this to be able to be done. And then once they have done that, it will be sent to the mentor for the completion of their details. So remember, to participate in Growsmart, you have to register on our online platform. Those days of you coming together and us completing the sheets, well, we're digital now, so sorry, there won't be any more of that. You have to find us online. If you are not sure what to do, again, please contact our team. Am I registered? I'm not quite sure. Once you have registered on this online platform, you will receive communication directly to your email address or via an SMS. If you have not received any communication, please contact us. We will assist you with that. Then question number 3, when should I register my learner? Well, there is a deadline, the 16th of April, but what needs to happen before then? You need to have your intergrade interclass competition. So you're not just going to pick the learner, you first need to go through everything so that all the competitions in your grades and in your classes so that you can then figure out who your learners are. Once you know who they are, you are then going to come back to the platform and register them. Okay, so this will allow time for you to host all of your competitions. Let's see what else are in our frequently asked questions. How many learners do I register for each competition? You will register 5 learners for the literacy on the online platform, and you will register 3 learners for the story writing and poetry. So in total, you are going to register 8 children. 5 for literacy, 3 for story writing and poetry. You will register them on the online platform. How will I receive communication regarding important dates? 1, there's this little booklet. It's all in here. Make sure you have your copy. 2, all of it will be sent to you on emails or SMSs with all of the contact details that you do require. So let's move on to the actual Growsmart program online platform. So what is that? So there are 2 things. 1, you're going to register. That is separate. Once you have registered, you are going onto our actual program, our online platform. That's where the competitions and where all the work is going to go through. So how do I access this? You can access it via your School in the Box tablet. So you would have received your School in the Box tablets. In the Western Cape, you're jumping up and down going, I didn't get this, I didn't get this. No, you didn't, because you already have a computer, and so you're just going to log in. Okay, there is a link below. You are going to use that in your computer lab so that you can register. So that's the way you're going to have access in the Western Cape. In the Eastern Cape, you are going to use your School in the Box tablet. Let's see what other questions we have. How do I create the school admin profile and the learner profile? You will receive a short how-to tutorial, much like the one that we saw within this presentation. You are going to receive something like that, and there will also be videos sent in your WhatsApp group. So these videos can be found in the training folder. So there is a separate training folder for you as the mentor and the principal for you to work through so that you can actually see, how does this work? Where do I go? What do I do? How do I navigate this? Okay, very important. Please remember, you need to create, for each of the mentors, you need to create a profile, and for each of the learners, you need to create a profile. And you're going to say, oh my word, I have 100 learners in my class. Well, you know what? You're going to create a profile for each of them. So there's actually just one software you're going to register them, and actually they will all have access. So how do I navigate the Growsmart content on the platform? You will receive the how-to tutorial. So the one was, how do I create the admin and learner profile? And the other one is, how do I navigate the actual Growsmart content? In the how-to video, it will be sent through to you of how this will work. Again, you have access to it on your training folder, so please bear that in mind. Again, if you struggle with any of these, please come back to us and let us know. We are there to assist you every step of the way. So let's look at this last section. Growsmart online competition days. How will this work? What will it look like? Okay, so What will a competition day look like? There, we are not having a huge hall anymore with our 5 desks and all of the learners. Well, that has fallen away. So what are we going to do? It's going to be hosted on a weekday at 3 o'clock on a specific date. You will have the dates in your calendar. It's in your booklet. They will tell you where to go. And if you have a look here, it says, please turn to page 4 and 5 of your Growsmart booklet and you will find it. So when you are done here and you're going to upload and look for your launch booklet, you're going to turn to page 4 and 5 and you're going to have all those important dates. Please ensure, we've mentioned this before, that your learners are logged on 15 minutes before the competition. Tutorials, plenty of tutorials, lots for you to work through. Practice, 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 and practice. How do I prepare for a competition day? Well, we've just spoken about how many times you need to practice. Many, many, many times. Practice makes perfect. All the study material is available to you. Please go onto our website. We've been around for 12 years. There's so much material out there. Please use our material. We make it available to all schools. So whether or not you're a Growsmart school, you will have access to our content. Please use them. Use the quizzes. They are absolutely wonderful. So that's a lot of our frequently asked questions. And so here we have some other questions that doesn't specifically fall under a platform. And it says, are the tablets only for the 5 participating learners? Well, that is no, 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 no. We want to encourage that absolutely every single learner in grades 4, 5, and 6 uses these tablets. Please involve all of your learners. We really want for them to use it. So it's available to everybody. Our content is available for you to use for everyone. Then the most important question, because I put my hand up for this all the time, can I just say technical support is not my thing. So if you have a similar problem, then make sure that you can find the School in a Box technical support. Couldn't be easier. You open up the lid of your little School in the Box box, numbers right inside, can't miss it. Other than that, again, your Growsmart coordinator, they have now turned into IT gurus as well, and they are available to answer all of your questions. I must say, they are absolutely amazing. They've made all of this happen today, and it is fantastic. So such a pleasure to do this digitally with you. Are the learners allowed to take the tablets home? No. It is the property of Growsmart. It belongs in the school. It is not for anyone to take it home. It will be locked away safely. Again, we are referring to the School in the Box tablets. Western Cape, please don't be jumping up and down here. Remember, you've got a computer lab. Eastern Cape, this completely applies to you. So we need to make sure we start off with 5 tablets and we end the day with 5 tablets, and they get locked up in the School in the Box and it gets locked away. So that does not get taken home. The principal and the mentor are responsible for that. It is the property of GrowthPoint. All right. So I think we've actually gone through a lot of the frequently asked questions, but I just want to see what has come through here. In the meantime, you can have a look. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. We have such an amazing social media team. They make sure that absolutely everything that is relevant is out there. One of the questions is that I've received, it says, is the book review for both groups, story writing and poetry? Absolutely. If you're writing a story, you've got to complete the book review. If you're writing poetry, you've got to complete the book review. It is compulsory to complete the book review. Then there's another question that came through and it says, can we have the learners do story writing and one or some poetry? Absolutely, please do it. But in terms of the competition, I need to know which one you're submitting. So you can do it as a class exercise where you say, okay, you're not entering as the story, but we can work through the poetry. But when you submit to me, I need to know, is it story writing you're submitting or poetry? If it's both, I don't know which one to mark, which one you are actually submitting to me. So you can do the work as a classroom exercise, but I do need to be quite clear what it is that you would like the judges to mark, story writing or poetry. But do remember that each of those is going to have a book review with that. There's another question that's come through here, and it says certain learners only have access to the internet at school, and schools are limited on finance and we can't print e-copies. Will the newsletters be printed and handed out in the schools, or will it only be e-copies? There will only be e-copies available. So we are no longer printing, we are no longer distributing a printed copy. Here's what's amazing about what we're doing in digital. You can download it and you can work offline. That is the most amazing part of what we are doing this year. You don't need to be online all of the time. All of our worksheets can be downloaded prior to the class actually coming into the classroom. So if you're worried that there's going to be a power outage, make sure you've downloaded the workbook, because everything can be done offline. So we will make sure that we can get through absolutely all of that. I'm just going to take one or two more questions here. It says, is story writing and literacy enrollment separately or combined? It is separate. Remember, there are 5 literacy learners and then there are 3 story writing or poetry learners. Okay, so you have to register for whichever one it is that you are doing. So when you go online, it will say, what are you registering for? Are you registering for literacy? Are you registering for story writing and poetry? Yes, absolutely not the same learners. I've got Mark jumping up and down here going, not the same learners, not the same learners. So please don't submit the same learners. They're different learners. Yes, very important that there are different learners. I don't see that there are any other questions. I think I've answered most of the questions in what I've talked about today. So I'm going to wrap up, and I'm going to say from me, Jewel Harris, and the Growsmart team, I have the most amazing team. So if you don't know who your project managers are, I'm going to introduce you. I have got Mark Yonka, who is looking after Limpopo, the Eastern Cape, and keeps his eye on the Western Cape as well. Sipalela Gusha, who's also known to us as Kanya, she is fantastic and has joined us and makes sure that all our bursaries get taken care of, and she does a lot of work behind the scenes. Then we have the fantastic Adverb Perfect Prince, and she looks after the Western Cape for us. Please, if you are not sure what to do, how it works, please reach out to my absolutely amazing team. They will have the answers for you. And if we don't, you know what? We are going to find out what those answers are. But we will be with you to guide you and be with you and have fun with you during our year of Growsmart going digitally. It has been an absolute pleasure to be with you once again. We've really missed you. It's been a year since I feel we've really done this together, and we're looking forward to seeing where this all goes. Take care, and until next time, see you then.